What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Actually Good Coffee podcast, the show where we talk about all things coffee related, all while drinking a cup of coffee.
Except now we are drinking nothing.
We thought it'd be a good episode. I was looking into the tariff situation with coffee, and I thought it'd be a good situation or a good episode to talk about the situation and explain it to you.
What actually happened is I told you we should do this episode on tariffs.
Oh.
But proceed.
Okay. Well,
the day it was announced that Brazil officially was not included, I called Jack and said, let's have a drink tonight because our wishes have finally been answered.
Been heard. Yeah.
But as someone who didn't have to deal with that side of things, all I knew is that it was a lot of money and stressful. I had a lot of questions for him, just like naturally, like what does this mean now? And we thought that would be actually a really good podcast episode. I think I have to sit in the back.
Yeah, it's all right. You can go back there.
So let's just get into it, and maybe I can ask you the questions I had that other people who aren't familiar with it may have, or do you want to explain like a little bit of background of like what you had to deal with tariff-wise, like
Sure.
What you had to do to get through this time and compensate or whatever?
Yeah, so for everyone that hasn't been following along, but I'm sure everyone has if they've been listening to this episode or this show, the tariff situation in the United States has been pretty intense, especially for the coffee sector. People have been scrambling a little bit just because coffee can't grow in the United States and we were importing it from other countries. So everybody was kind of scrambling because it seemed like every single day it was changing and nobody really knew why or what the reasons were for. And now finally, about a year later, the tariffs have been effectively removed from every country, including Brazil, which was the biggest one for a lot of people, including us. So everyone's very happy now, including us. And the end. That's it. No, it's just, it's been like, there's so much information that goes behind it. It's like, I feel like I'm familiar with a lot of the insider information, I guess, or like the information going on with it. So it's difficult for me to explain from like a beginner standpoint, which is why I liked the fact that you were asking me those questions, because I thought that it would be good to talk about. So let's just start with you asking the questions.
So my first question was, now that tariffs are all officially lifted, how did your importers respond to that? Did they send you an email explaining it? Did you reach out to them? Like, what was the very next step once that was announced?
Yeah, so Royal Coffee in South Plainfield was really the one importer that took the brunt of that on, of letting their buyers know what was going on with the tariff situation, which was great because Royal does a pretty good job at providing some like additional information. So they were explaining what was going on with the tariff situation and pretty on top of it too. Like within the day, they would post about that or send an email out or whatever they needed to do. So as soon as I found out about it, I emailed the importers that we work with and just asked what the situation was. And pretty much within the day that the tariffs were dropped, they had already started shipping Brazilian coffee into the United States, because originally it was all of the countries, pretty much every South American, Central American country had tariffs on their coffee except for Mexico. It was like a 10% tariff, which really wasn't that much. I think Colombia was like 25, and all of that was dropped, so that was good, but it didn't have too much of an impact. And Brazil was dropped down from 50% to 40%, and India was like 40% to 25%. Those were the two big ones besides Colombia. Everyone was like happy but still disappointed, and then within the next week they dropped Brazil. So that was the big one, and the importer that we worked with was like, yeah, within that day they already had a freight container full of Brazilian coffee that was on the way to the United States as soon as that happened. So it seemed like everybody was kind of just on standby and had all the reserves in their Brazilian ports or Indian or Colombian, wherever they were shipping out their coffee from, and just kind of waiting for this to happen. So it was pretty interesting to see it play out.
Drops the thing here. Oh, I found it. Are you okay? So your importer got coffee, Brazilian coffee. It's already on the way. So does that mean you're getting Brazil like next week? Like, do you get that Brazil right away?
No, so the specific lot that they're buying is something that we're not interested in, but we will be buying Brazilian coffee from them. And although it might not be that specific lot, there's another farm that we would like to work with that is great. Their coffee is fantastic. We thought it really worked well with our espresso blend. So we were going to contract from them whenever that starts to be importing into the United States.
So I know that in the meantime, when there was no Brazil, you were thinking of adding a Mexican component to the espresso, and you were kind of playing around with that and seeing how that tasted. So what's the status with that? What are you going to do now? Are you going to kind of just drop the Mexico idea now that Brazil's back in play, or...
Yeah, I mean, we had a Mexican component that we were using within our espresso blend. It didn't really work well in it, so we just started putting it in our primary because it was pretty bright and it worked better with primary than it did with espresso. We started buying from another Mexican farm. I know. Do we even...
Just
include this?
Trying. We're waiting anyway.
So we started buying from another Mexican coffee importer, and that worked really well. And I still like their coffee. Like, we still have both lots, so we're going to use it, but definitely going to switch over to Brazil whenever that comes into effect, because their quality is just so good, and that has to be our top priority. And then
the Brazil?
Yeah, Brazilian coffee. It's just, it works really, really well in our espresso blend, and that has to be our top priority. And then once we find the farms that are consistent and we keep wanting to work with, then we focus on moving them over to more sustainable farming methods. Like, that's sort of the steps that we need to take.
So what's in your espresso currently, if it's not Brazil or Mexico?
So right now we're using a Peruvian lot.
Oh, okay.
It's an organic coffee.
Isaiah doesn't like that.
We're using a Peruvian lot. It worked well. It's really expensive, so it's only temporary, but...
How much of that did you buy?
Like 45 bags total.
So now you have to wait. You have to use those? Or
well,
can
yeah,
you
but...
figure something else out?
So what we'll probably end up doing is moving it over into our darkest blend, because it has more of like a dark chocolatey taste to it, which is fine. It still works in our espresso, but it's just not what it's not the flavor note that I would choose out of the most ideal blend component. Like, I'm looking for more of like a cashew nuttiness with some like warming spices and milk chocolate taste as well.
And you just find that with Brazil?
Yeah, I mean, Brazil just like knocks it out of the park.
So when do you think you'll actually get Brazil in a month?
Probably by March, I would say that it's going to come in. Yeah, it's tough.
Why does it take so long?
Well, usually it'll take like about a month from when we get a news that coffee's coming in and that they've like signed off with the farm, a contract with them, and then for it to come into the port, then be offloaded from the shipping container, and then we're able to actually go and pick it up. So I would say that by the time they start talking with the farms again and then buying their coffee and then getting it into America, it'll probably be like late February, early March, which is fine because that actually works out with the amount of coffee that we have on reserve right now. And
so to be clear, the process works like this. They have a Brazil coming in now, but it's from a specific farm that you're not interested in. And when you want a specific Brazil, you kind of have to wait until they email you like, hey, these are the lots we're getting in, and you choose from it, or do you request it from them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it really comes down to how much volume you're buying. So ideally, importers are... In a perfect scenario, it's like, if you could buy a whole shipping container worth of Brazilian coffee, like that's what you want from a coffee roaster, and from an importing perspective. It's like they want to work with the guys that are buying shipping containers worth of coffee. Which is fine. Like, that's just the reality of it. It's like it's not like a preference or anything. It's just what it is, right? So that's where you start having leverage and determining like what farms you want to work with. Like, I could just find a farm online, tell the importer, whatever importer that we would want to work with on that, and say like, we want to buy coffee from this farm. We could buy a whole freight container. Like, let me know what the cost is going to come out to be. You also have more negotiating in terms of financials. But for somebody like us, where we're not buying a whole shipping container for a harvest season, we're buying like at most maybe half, we don't have as much say. We still have like a little bit of leverage in determining that, but they still need to fill the rest of that container with other coffee. So whether that's from a different farm or whatever the case may be, we only have so much say in deciding which coffees are actually going to come over into the United States. So that's where it works out in a favor, where like you start maybe combining with other roasters. I don't know what. I have a friend that purchased coffee in really high volume, so we might start going in on some coffee together. He's in Florida, so we might start like working together and combining our purchasing power to start choosing farms to work with. So that's like something that roasters could do, even if they are in that like lower tier volume purchasing of like wanting to get specific farms coffee, but their importer doesn't offer that, is to start working with other roasters.
So what do you do like currently? You email your importer like, hey, this is the Brazil I am interested in. Can you let me know when you get this in, or something similar to it? And then
basically,
they'll just like keep you in mind if that happens? Pretty
much. So yes, that is what happens.
And why does it have to be a specific Brazil? They don't all taste the same?
No. They taste different. I mean, there's different types of coffee beans. There's different elevations. There's different climates. There's like 4 different climates in Brazil where you can buy coffee from, which means there's 4 different harvest seasons that happen throughout
Brazil,
the year.
It doesn't mean 100% it will work in the espresso.
No.
Like, you're not just looking for Brazil. You're looking for a specific Brazil.
Certain quality. We need like mid 80 grade Brazilian coffee that has specific flavor notes that we're looking for. And if they don't want to buy that, or they can't buy it for whatever reason, they'll just send us something that's comparable.
I just thought of a really good idea.
Yeah.
We can talk about it after. So my next question is the process now. Okay, so you tell them what Brazil you're looking for. They send you like maybe a few that kind of fits what you're looking for.
Yep.
The next step is what? Cupping them?
Yep.
Okay.
Basically, so then you have to sample the coffee. We're always doing a blind cupping of our coffee. We're always trying to find out what it is that we like about the coffee and if it fits our flavor profile. If it doesn't, we look to, maybe a different importer, or we just look to see like what's available and what fits our, price range. Price we're able to be a little bit more flexible with, but in terms of actual like quality is the first. Quality is always like the first thing that we're looking for. Once you decide on a coffee, then you determine how much you want to buy from it. So that's when like price comes into play, and saying like, okay, well, how much is there in the lot? How many bags of coffee? Maybe you can buy the whole thing. Maybe it's a high volume farm, so you can't even buy the entire lot and you can only buy a small amount. Maybe it's higher price, so you can only buy a specific amount, and you determine whether you need to make any adjustments to your roast profile or flavor profile, component makeup. And then you create a contract with the importer. So how much coffee are you buying? Let's say it's 60 bags. Let's say you can only have 10 of those bags in at your warehouse at a time. So, and you go through 10 bags a week, or 10 bags every 2 weeks. So that's 6 weeks total. That's like 2.5 months.
How do you learn how to do this? You just start doing it, and
you just start. Yeah, you just kind of start doing it. I mean, your importer probably will help you out. Your importer will probably help you out, like in trying to figure out what's the best case scenario for you, but you just have to do it. You just have to do it to find out and understand how it works. This is brutal.
Wait, Isaiah has a question.
Yeah.
Good question. Oh no.
What's your next question?
Big $1 million question that everyone has.
Yep.
Now that tariff prices are dropped, once you eventually have coffee in your supply that is non-tariff price coffee that you do not have to pay tariff prices on, so say March and on, once that starts coming in the mix,
Are prices going to go down?
are your prices going to go down?
Excellent question.
Probably not, because all of the money that we make off of Maiden is being reinvested back into Maiden. Like, we are collecting the bare minimum to live off of right now, and every other dollar that we make is reinvested back into Maiden.
That right.
And in order to do that, we have to add amenities that we offer our clients, buy high quality coffee. Like, that's going to be a huge focus on our product this next year, is like really dialing in what farms that we're going to be working with, and like making quality our top priority. and finding out like what our wholesale clients want from us. Like what is it specifically that they're looking for and like that they're lacking and that we maybe could help out with. So every dollar that we're making is going to be reinvested back into Maiden. It's not like...
Also, the organic certification costs money, right?
Yeah,
You want to get that.
Right, yeah. The organic certification costs money, but it's like, this last year has definitely been a struggle in terms of growth and
So you're
just
also playing
profit
catch
margins.
up. Even though the prices might be lower, you're still probably playing catch up for this last year. You
It's-
need that money to...
Yeah, I mean, like we're every dollar that we make is going to be reinvested back into Maiden. The extra money that we might be making on when coffee prices are coming back down are being reinvested back into seeing what it is that we could be offering our clients, our retail customers, moving into a space that we can start having events at, where we can host cuppings, where we can do
Braille
training
on the
situations.
cans.
Yeah, better braille on the cans. Yeah. I mean, we'll figure it out, but it's definitely going to be everything is going to be reinvested back into Maiden.
Well, I would love to keep talking, but Isaiah doesn't want to. And he runs our lives now.
Yeah.
He runs Maiden.
Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you all again very soon.
Bye.